Good morning. I'm Doug Schoen with my friends and colleagues Martin Hinton, our producer, and John LeBoutelier, our Republican, as Pat Caddell and I are Democrats. And given that there is a Democrat who is likely to announce sooner rather than later for president, I will take the prerogatives of the chair and try to offer an explanation for why Hillary may, and I say may, announce earlier. First, and I think most importantly, fundraising. She is seeing huge numbers of people who want to give her money, and she understands that that does not wait around. That is not that...
Where else is it going to go?
Well, if Elizabeth Warren runs or somebody else runs, who knows? But the first thing about politics, business, and indeed life is you take the money when it's offered. So I think that's part of it. I think also, given that there have been questions asked about Secretary Clinton, particularly with the Clinton Foundation, there's real doubts that are getting raised, and I suspect an early announcement would be designed to address those doubts. Martin, what's your...
that was my thought, is that the early announcement gives her time to create that narrative you guys discussed so much about why she's the marathon runner and this has been a life's work, and that those aren't negatives, that she's the former First Lady and former Secretary of State, that this is all a positive, that she's been in public life for 20-plus years, not a negative, which is how a lot of people cast it, in that sort of anti-establishment, anti-sort of monarchy sort of reality that also afflicts, I think, Bush in this go-around. So maybe it gives her time to sort of, tamp down those stories and then raise, as you point out, the kind of money you need to run for president these days.
John, how do you see it?
I can remember October 1991, sitting in my kitchen on a weekday with the TV on, with the mute button on, and announcements being made by Bill Clinton that he's running for president. October 91. So we're talking April, 6 months earlier. And he was able to get in the race then, and boom, boom, 6 months later he's the nominee. I don't see the rush for her to get into this thing in April. And once she announces an exploratory committee, once she's sort of a candidate, we're going to be seeing more of her, and the more you see of Hillary, the lower her ratings go. We learned that during the book thing. She does better off stage.
So I would agree with that. The only caveat is if there's $1.5 billion sitting on the sidelines for her, it's pretty hard to tell that $1.5 billion to wait.
Yeah, but it's
not
going anywhere else, though.
Well, I mean, the problems you mentioned, maybe $1.5 billion doesn't solve, but you might be convinced to let it try.
Yeah. And the Clintons love money, so they never turn down money. So I give you that. But on the Elizabeth Warren front, if she were to run, and there's no evidence she's going to run, she will get whatever money is coming to her, whether Hillary's already in the race or not. It's different money. It's anti-establishment, left-wing, smaller donations, ideological liberals. They'll give to Elizabeth Warren. They want to give to her.
Yeah.
They're not giving to Martin O'Malley.
Do you see any chance she gets in the race?
Yes. Yeah.
I do too. I think she's sitting there waiting to see what Hillary decides and how strong she comes out after announcing. And I just can't imagine becoming a senator and putting yourself through the sort of rigors of getting to that office and not thinking, well, if someone thinks I should be president, if enough people are willing to help me fund that effort, I don't give it a go. You don't go into public service the way she presents herself and not try if you have a serious
everybody chance. In the Congress thinks they're going to be president or ought to be president. So she wants
everybody on every city council thinks
right. So she wants to be president. Now she's going to be we're talking about Elizabeth Warren. She's going to be 67 next year. Yeah. She really can't wait past next year. What is the downside to her running against Hillary Clinton?
She can certainly mix things up.
Right, but if she runs and loses, she's still a senator from Massachusetts,
Yeah.
So she's
and popular.
Yeah. If she runs and you were the first pollster to show the vulnerability in Iowa and New Hampshire, Doug, among Democrats of Hillary Clinton, I think it's conceivable she could lose those two states to an ideological firebrand, and that's the end of Hillary.
With that, let me suggest that we will be talking more about former Secretary Clinton and her prospective run for president on Political Insiders, 7:30 Sunday night. We are on the Fox News Report Sunday with Harris Faulkner. We urge you to join in to watch John, Pat, and myself kick this and other issues around. Today, for Martin Hinton, our senior producer, John LeBoutelier, our colleague, I am Doug Schoen, and we are Political Insiders.